Hey, what's up, guys and gals? My name is Ricknineg. Thank you so much for joining me. This is, of course, part two. Of course? Yeah, of course, part two of the I Love Lucy special edition Newsweek magazine read through, I guess. We're not really reading it, we're paging through it. Let's just say that. Now, if you happen to miss the first part of it, go ahead and watch that first because you'll be missing a lot of good photos, images, and information that you will really like to look at. We basically went through a third of the magazine itself, and we're going to look at the second half. So I would suggest the best way to look at this and to hear it and to enjoy it is to put some headphones on if you have them. If you don't, that's fine. But if you do, I think it'll give you the best experience possible because, of course, I do have a surround sound mic that will give you a better experience. All right. And, of course, this is a no-rush look through. This is something where we can take our time, look at, and enjoy. So there's really no time limit in how much I'm doing this. I'm doing the other third of the magazine, finishing with about 2/3 of it. So let's get right to it. This is where we left off last. And here we go. Look at this photo. Now, can anyone recognize where this photo is? Immediately looking at it, I would think that this is season 3. Where we're talking about Ricky losing his temper. Let me know if you agree with that. This is the one where Lucy is looking to buy a hat, and then Ricky is supposed to keep his cool and not lose his temper. So if we come up over here, this is from another episode. This is from season 6. Little Ricky learns to play the drums. Episode 2, season 6. And Ricky says, "Something's wrong with the electricity. My shaver isn't working." And Lucy says, "Something's wrong with the gas. My chicken isn't working." I love that line. That is fantastic. So 2 great episodes here. This is actually, at least, I won't say more than that. I'll just say this is a great episode in my mind. Ricky loses his temper. I'll just say that, and then maybe you have to stay tuned and see why I said that. Okay. All right. Look at this fantastic photo. It spreads, of course, on both sides of the magazine. I want to call attention to a few things. I want to see if we can get the just get this focused. It's so stingy, it's not wanting to focus. Well, of course. Oh, there we go. Kind of, a little bit. I think it has to do a lot with the lighting and how that works out. But anyway, it says Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball were notoriously dedicated to realism in their shows, so much so that when an I Love Lucy script required that Lucy mistakenly bake an 8-foot loaf of bread, the show enlisted the only baker in Hollywood willing to bake such a loaf. It was rye and distributed amongst the studio audience after the show. So they did eat it, and that is a true fact. I have heard that before. Look at the camera setup. Very, very cool. I believe camera operator here, look, he's taking notes. And of course, this is the first Ricardo apartment that we see, season 1. And just by trying to guess what this episode is, I don't know. Maybe Ricky thinks Lucy's trying to murder her, but I don't know if they kiss like this. In my opinion, this is a rehearsal. Let me know if you agree, guys and gals. There's nothing on the walls. The only thing, there's a mirror, which I think they're probably using for the scene. There's the fireplace little tools that you use, you know, the little scoop and shovel and stuff. But look, there is a little glass here. You see that? There's this metal glass, and that was used in the episode Lucy thinks Ricky's trying to murder her. So that's my indication of why I think that's the episode. And look, there's even a bottle here, which I don't know why that's here. And look, this is propped up. See that? So they could be seen in the scene. So that's pretty cool. All right, we all know that Lucille Ball had fantastic celebrity guests. Of course, one of the great ones over here, Bob Hope. Look at that. Lucy wearing the Cleveland outfit here. I don't know what team this is. I'm guessing Indians, maybe? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not a baseball fan. You guys let me know in the comments and teach me something. All right, long before Stephen Hawking came to Springfield or John Cleese walked in the Cheers, I Love Lucy stars love sharing the spotlight. That is really cool. So of course we're not going to read all of this, but one example is Bob Hope, Lucy and Bob Hope, season 6, episode 1. They started season 6 with a bang. It's not my favorite season, I would say. Probably ranking down in my least favorite. I would probably even like season 1 more than 6, to be honest with you. But more about that in a future episode. Let's turn the page here. And of course, Orson Welles. I did love his, I won't say cameo, I'll say these are guest stars because they go out throughout the whole show here. Orson Welles, let me just prop this up a little bit so you can see this, get a little better image of it. Of course, Orson Welles, season 6, episode 3. Look at that. That's awesome. He was an actor, writer, director, magician, and master entertainer. Very, very cool. And of course, he's known for Shakespeare. He's known for Citizen Kane, basically the greatest movie of all time, some people would say. Look at this. Ricky, Lucy, and Rock Hudson. I mean, this is awesome. This is back in season 4. This was one of the first big guest stars that you can say came on the show, along with people like Cornell Weil, Richard Widmark, episode 26. So this is fairly new. I guess the first relatively big star you could say was on the show was Tennessee Ernie Ford, and he was a singer, so kind of interesting to note. And of course, oh man, George Reeves, which interestingly enough, what's up with Superman being, or guys who play Superman being named Reeves? Christopher Reeves, George Reeves, kind of an interesting, it's not a common last name from what I know. But anyway, George Reeves, super awesome. Lucy crying here, and then of course them in the rain because Lucy's dragging them out here. Season 6, episode 13. You know, season 6 was full of all these guest stars because why? Well, I mean, they were pretty important. They were pretty popular. I mean, the Lucy gang, and so they had to get these powerhouses to appear, you know, a little more significant, a little more relevant. All right, this is on the Brown Derby set. We can see a couple of famous actors over here that I don't even know if I can name. This one kind of looks like Jack Nicholson, but I'm sure it's not. Maybe Jack Lemmon? I don't know. Now let's look down over here, of course. William Holden getting the pie in the face. I'm guessing this is maybe the last rehearsal. This doesn't seem like it was part of the actual filming. Oh, sorry, I want to put that in the shot. And the reason is because she's smiling and she doesn't do that action. So I'm guessing this is probably the final dress rehearsal when most things are there. And William Holden, season 4, episode 16. So very cool. He drops in at the Brown Derby and surprises everyone. Harpo Marx, I would classify as probably my favorite celebrity appearance. Look at that, Harpo Marx. Season 4, episode 28. Wow. Yep, a really big cameo. I mean, think about it. This is the 50s, and Harpo Marx started around, 1929, Coconuts. And, I mean, he was that was when he just started. Really popular in the 30s and 40s. And so this was beyond his time, so he was super established by here. Then we have John Wayne, of course, the legendary cowboy, probably the most famous actor cowboy of all time, I would say. I mean, when you think of cowboys, you think of John Wayne. Look at this photo here with John Wayne. Season 5, episode 2, of course, kicking off season 5 with a bang. Look at that. This is so great. How do you guys like it so far? I love all these photos. Let's come over here. This is an interesting one. Let me move it down a little bit. This one, I'm trying to think which episode it would be. Maybe season 4. I do remember this outfit. I can't pinpoint an episode. If you can let me know, go ahead, guys and gals. I'm thinking redecorating the Mertz's apartment, somewhere in that range. And that's where Lucy had the stole and she had to give it up, but I'm not sure. All right. Of course, these don't match. This is just a quote that they put in here. So Ricky says, "This whole thing is my fault. Something I said that started this whole mess." What's that? I do. So great. For getting ready, of course. All right. Look at this one. Of course, this is not a guest starring role. But in season 3, Lucy is envious. Lucy and Ethel find themselves dressed as women from Mars. Terrifying tourists atop the Empire State Building. This moment would later become the inspiration for special edition Kelly dolls from the Lucy Loves Barbie edition collection. That is funny. Look at that. Of course, this is Herb Vagrant, I believe. He was in Twilight Zone and a couple of other shows, which I can't really think of, but I know most from Twilight Zone because that's one of my favorite shows from the 60s. Look at that. And of course, Newsweek had their own promotion here. Anyway, and here we got some episodes. These are the 10 most beloved. We're going to try to look at these maybe in another video and see if you guys agree. If these, I mean, the 10 most beloved of all seasons, and we're going to take a look at all of them and decide, is this true or not? Maybe in the future episode, like I said. Lucy tells the truth, where she had knives thrown at her. This is an awesome one, of course. And look at this. Lucy and Ricky crying. This is, of course, the barbecue episode where she lost her wedding ring, and apparently Ricky, he was trying to teach her a lesson, and he got it lost, but then they find it inside of a burger. Kind of anticlimactic. I don't know. It's in the sense of the audience reaction. I thought the reaction would be bigger, and it's just like, oh, it's in her thing, and they found it, and the end. It just seemed like it dropped off a little bit. But who knows? That's the reception I think it got. Over here on the left, the Ricardos visit Cuba. Season 6, Episode 9. Lucy, I might not be able to understand what you say when you say it. Before you say it, I can understand what you're going to say perfectly. Haha. That was hard to say if I wanted to get it in one take. Now this one, I can definitely tell you. That's where I'll catch myself, and you guys will be like, no, Rick, you're wrong. So I won't say definitely. I believe this is from Redecorating the Mertz's apartment, where she is hugging him and saying, ooh, a mink stole of my very own. And he's hugging her. She is hugging him like crazy, thanking him for the stole, which she never gets because they pay all that money to reupholster the furniture and repaint the apartment for the Mertzes. Oh, look at this. You guys and gals know that this is one of my top 5 favorite episodes of Season 2. If you don't know that, go ahead and check out my best or my favorite episodes from I Love Lucy, Season 2. And you will see that the courtroom is on that list, amongst others. Now let me just show this to you. This is the broken TV from the Mertzes. You have the boys on this side, of course. Wonderful picture there. And then you have the girls on this side. And the TV, and a little bit of a caption here. After just a few episodes of I Love Lucy, it became an unwritten rule that that only Lucy would make fun of Ricky's broken English. Anytime the writers had included a quip made by anyone else, the studio audience had responded with silence. And that is true. I have heard that before in the first season, and it seems like they quickly caught sight of that and corrected the problem. All right, this is going on her legacy. Not only can I Love Lucy still produce laughter like it did in the 50s, Lucy herself is a legend. Yes, she is. Look at that wonderful dress. I think she's worn this probably in the Hollywood anniversary episode. It looks like a very similar dress to what she was wearing. 1953, Lucy was well on her way to becoming the most powerful and influential woman in the history of TV comedy. That year, her show would win its first Emmy for Best Situational Comedy. Yeah, look at that. Did you guys know she won an Emmy for that? That is great. Wow. All right, moving on to the candy episode. I just call it the candy, but it's the chocolate episode, I guess. Let's look up over here at the caption. Lucy and Ethel contemplate death by chocolate in job switching. These captions are so weird. These are not the type of captions that would use. Death by chocolate? That doesn't even make sense. They weren't purposefully trying to kill themselves, even if it's metaphorically. I don't know. It's just funny. All right. So these are just different quotes. We'll take a look at a few by popular people about Lucy. Joan Rivers says, she was tough, smart, a brilliant comedian, and a walking masterclass in comedy. Well, Kathy Griffin, Amy Schumer, Ellen DeGeneres, Tina Fey, Katya Blickfeld, Chelsea Peretti. Let's do Tina Fey because she's got a short one here. I like Lucy best when she's sassy, which she was in the Bob Hope movies. Okay, interesting. Now let's start with the left over here. We got a Ricky and Fred dialogue going on here. I mean, they were great together. I think no one can deny that. It's like a father-son relationship. You know, Fred never had a son from what we know in the show. And Ricky, his father, he said, my father once said, but he never mentions him. We never see him. So maybe he passed away, and he talks about him whenever he does in a positive way. So most likely he passed away in terms of the character in I Love Lucy. So Ricky says, Fred, I've got an awful problem on my hands. And Fred says, you should have thought about that before you married her. Kleptomaniac, Season 1, Episode 7. Very, very cool. Alright, now look at this dress. Now, you guys can correct me, but I don't think I remember this dress on the show. Huh. No, this seems like something afterwards. Let's take a look here. It says, Lucille Ball began her acting career at age 12 with her first audition and spent much of her time in Hollywood trying to break into big movie roles. Though she made her name on the small screen, Lucy would eventually become one of the first women to run a studio. Yes, very, very true. Alright, if you want John Wayne stuff, here it is. And here we go, coming to the end, guys and gals. I do have that DVD, the 50th anniversary special. Maybe I'll do a few videos on that. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's celebrating 50 years of Lucy. Wow, half century old of the show. Of course, not her, because she was almost 50 when the show was running. She was 40 actually when she began I Love Lucy. Fun fact, Lucy and Ricky often wear matching pajamas in I Love Lucy. In the 50s, fans of the show could buy replicas of the pajamas for almost $7 a pair. This wasn't the only merchandise available. Fans could buy posters, coloring books, and jewelry to show their dedication. There we go, and we'll take this off. Now this one, who knows what this episode's for? It's of course from season 1 or 2. I'm thinking maybe 2. Not really sure. Let's see what this says. Maybe this might shine a light on that. Lucy ponders her predicament in the episode Vacation from Marriage, during which Lucy convinces Ethel that the Ricardo and Mertz's marriage are both in a lull. The women take some time off from their husbands to reignite the spark. I'd agree with that. I'd go along that train route, or I'd go along that and say that, yeah, that could be that episode. There's nothing indicating that it isn't. I would say it's more season 2 than 1, just the way everything looks. Just the hairstyle and so forth, and just what she's wearing. And it could make sense that Ethel's around here. She was cut off, but who knows. Alright, guys and gals, that is it. If you want to see the rest of the magazine, there's a lot of cool stuff. I'll give you a quick flash there, just to build some anticipation. Let me know in the comments down below. And again, thank you for your love and support. It really does mean a lot, and it is so important to me that I see your feedback, because I love to answer back. Don't forget to look at my Instagram, my Twitter, and also my Facebook page. Links are in the description. Don't forget to push through any negativity, guys and gals. Don't let it push you down. Just you push forward and keep going. You'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. And don't forget, guys and gals, be hopeful.